Sorry for the loud noise. They're repaving my street, but I wanted to do this install today. This is a light I got from China. I think I bought it on eBay. It was $17. And this is the housing. This is the box. We're gonna remove it. I did get two of these. This is gonna be good when they misspell projector lens in here. Projecto. And I believe they also actually have it on a couple other places as well. LED projecto lens, but I believe they spelled it right in one of this side. Oh no, they misspelled it here, projector, but they put T. Oh well, you know. But this is the only instruction that this has. So LED lens, high beam, low beam white, and then they have the green grounding wire. So it doesn't come with a lot of stuff. So let's open up the box and see what is in it. This is the way it was sent. Packaging is kind of cheap, as you can tell. And it comes with this and just the mounting housing. I was a little surprised it didn't come with any other thing. I thought it actually came with the wires to hook up to the battery. You're going to have to provide that. So just keep plastic aside. Then you have a little baggie here with an Allen key and then the bracket that goes underneath here, like so, and the two bolts. Looking at this, the one thing I notice is that this is very flimsy. It does feel like an inexpensive lens. It's very light, but the thing that worries me is the gauge of the wire. It's so thin. So, I mean, these things are just absolutely tiny. This is a Cree LED light. It's a projector, so I don't, one of the issues with my bike is that I don't see very well at night. And I want to get this so I can see a little bit better. The element here, the housing of the element, is actually plastic. So I'm not really sure if this is really going to hold up in a motorcycle environment, but it's nice that it's not touching this aluminum housing, which kind of helps it. It gives it a little bit of a rough, rugged look. For $17, it's not much. So we are going to be mounting this on the bike. I think I am going to mount it on the crash bars, and that's pretty much it. You could twist this around by removing the housing. I think I'm just going to try and mount this sideways. You have to remove this side panel here, and on this I can actually just slide it backwards without removing the crash bars. And then up here you have something that I believe the previous owner installed. It is just like I'm not sure what this is called, but you can tie it into the ignition and everything through here. And I am kind of thinking about doing that with the lights, because when you switch on the ignition, I want the lights to go on. But I'm also okay like wire it directly to the battery. And I did my GPS that way. So my GPS turns on with the ignition, and it's such a good idea because I've had like heated grips and all of these things on my previous bikes, and I just wired them to the battery, and then I forgot to switch them off when I got to work. Came out, battery's dead. So if you know how to do electronic stuff, this is a good way to go about it. Not exactly a very good electrician, but I have the two lights here, and I think potentially you could put a switch in here. I'm not even sure I'm going to do that, but what you have to do, I believe, negative to negative, tie it together, and then positive to positive, tie it together, and of course these would go to the battery. But you can put a switch, and if you want a switch, you put it in the positive wire. That way you can turn it on and off. I might do that. I haven't decided yet. But also I have this thing here, and this is an old wire that I had. And the best thing about this is got a inline fuse already in here. So it's always good to have fuses into your wires, but this is like from an old GPS, and I believe it's going to work. When you turn on the ignition, the lights will come on automatically. So I'm not even sure I'm interested in putting in a switch. These don't use a lot of energy, but I might do that. I haven't decided. These, so what you would do is you would put negative and negative together like that. And you know, like if you do house electrical stuff, it's kind of like this usually. And you just kind of tie it in there, and that kind of bolts it down. So now we have a way of putting our negative from this onto here. This is the way you would run it. So now you would put the negative onto here. I'm going to cut the wire just a little bit smaller. You don't need this much. We're going to crimp it. So that's the negative. And now we have the two positives. The two positives we have to combine together as well from the lights. So these are the wires from the lights. I'm going to use a different color. So we're going to connect our positive to this terminal. Just undo it a little bit, and this is just going to be a little test. I'm just going to put it here. The bottom one's very tight on. Test it really quick. So I'm going to turn on my ignition, and it works. And there we go. They light up. Cable kind of loose to test it. So now we want to try out the switch, and I'm not really sure how it's going to work, because you want the power to go from here to here. So we'll have to figure this out. So I want to put this wire kind of loosely in here as a test. I don't know why it's not. There we go. Okay, so that's what it is. So it's the middle one, and this, and then I think you turn it on, turn it off, turn it on and off if you want the okay, so it is this way. So you can see the positive goes to this middle prong, and then the positive from this wire goes here. It doesn't go into the other one, so it goes like that. So I'm going to start it up, and there you go. And if you hit the start button. Okay, it's almost completely night, and I'm looking at those lights, and yeah, not good. This is not a good use of lighting. I can kind of like touch them. I don't. Where's those lights? You see that? Not good. The one on the left is actually shining on the right, and the one on the right is shining on the left. But that has nothing to do with the lights themselves. That's where I mounted them. Alright, I'm a little disappointed with these lights. So here we go. Here's the bike from the front. I guess if I go all the way over here, I guess they kind of shine bright, but not really. I'm trying to aim them at the roadway, but you see this light on the left? It actually shines over there to the right. I mean, it is. And then you want to kind of move it, but now it's over there. Yeah, this is. I moved it too much. Now, where's this one? Yeah, now it's more in the front. Oh, yeah, not exactly a great visible pattern of light. I thought I'd be getting a little bit more. I guess for visibility from incoming cars, it is good to have, but not for seeing the roadway. I can't really see very much on this, and even when you turn on the high beams, these lights are just so useless. Now I did put a switch on here, and I just put it on here as a kind of like a way to kind of test it. So if I turn it off, turns it off. It's actually wired to the ignition. I turn it on again, it's a low beam pattern, and then you can turn it one more time, and it's that strobing effect. I'm not sure why I would want to use the strobing effect. I guess for visibility that could be nice, But I mean, yeah, that looks like an emergency vehicle, so I don't really like that. The flashing actually would be fairly good for visibility if it didn't look quite as strobe as that. And actually there is a law that lets you use strobe lights, or it's like a headlight modulator. I think that could count as that. It is very visible. I think for safety that strobe is handy. So maybe this light that I got, the idea is a fog light and not really a light for shining the light on the roadway. So I do want to get a light more for shining light on the roadway. I'm not into the fog light stuff. I really would like to have a better light for riding. And that's pretty much the ride for today. Just a little casual commute. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Kind of stuck here. The cops won't bother me.